we are talking about the productivity related thing, and from here onwards, now we'll be switching over to the work study and method study. So, how the two can be linked. So, this today's lecture is about this linkage between the two and various other aspects related to the industrial engineering, which are used for enhancing the productivity. So here today we'll primarily talk about the productivity uh, of the machine and the man, how it is quantified, and how important it is for the manufacturing systems especially. Uh, so here the productivity of man oblique machine. If we take any industrial system, like say this one, so here we'll be giving the inputs in various forms. Say material, the workers are working, so man, various types of the machines, power. So everything, whatever is needed for facilitating the production, that is given. Okay, and as a result we get the desired output in form of goods and services. Now if you see, now productivity, if we have to see of the man or machine, then how much time we have to see, that how much time it takes to produce one product or one service. So except this material, if we produce more, we have to consume more material. Except that if there is a kind of the wastage of the material, then the productivity of the material can vary significantly, or can be different depending upon the kind of wastage or how effectively it is being used. But if we see the productivity of man and machine, in every system most of the expenditure is made on having a setup involving the man, machine, power, and each and everything that is needed for producing the goods and services. So in 1 hour we are producing 50 units per hour or 120 units. That brings in the lot of difference with regard to the productivity. So our system will be certainly considered the system which was producing just 50 units per hour earlier, and after the improvement, if we could facilitate with the production of 120 units per hour, then certainly there will be significant enhancement in the productivity. Basically, to see the productivity of man and machine, we use the term man hours or machine hours. So man or machine hours, man hour means one man working for an hour. So what is the output of that, if he is producing 1 unit or 10 units, and accordingly the time required for, or man hour required to produce 1 unit can be identified. Okay, so one man working for 1 hour and producing say 10 units, then per unit is 1 by 10 man hours. Time required for producing per unit is 1 by 10 man hours. Similarly, when a machine works for 1 hour, what is the output, and then using that the machine hours required for producing one product is identified or quantified. So the machine hour is about the working of machine for 1 hour and its output. What is its output? That is used to quantify the machine hours required to produce unit goods or unit product. Okay, so here if we go with the man hour or machine hour, means the kind of the amount which will be produced by the man or by the machine in 1 man hour or by the machine in 1 machine hour. It can be 0.2 man hour or it can be 2 man hours. So how to use this effectively? Obviously in unit time, if in 1 man hour more output, greater productivity. Likewise in unit man hour or machine hour, if more is the output, greater will be the man or machine productivity. So it can be anything like this. So now if you have to see the time required to produce 1 unit is this much, say 0.2 man hour or 2 man hours. So this is coming where from? It is composed of what? So the time required to produce 1 item by the machine or by the man is composed of what? That is what is to be seen. So what we see basically total time for producing a job. This is basically composed of the 2 components. One is the basic work content and the second is the added work content. So these are the 2 things during which we find that at least something is being done to produce the job. There is a third component, that is ineffective time. So work content is basically, let me define this, is about the work need to be done for completing a job, and this is basically quantified in terms of either man hour or machine hours. So it takes just 0.2 man hour or 2 machine hours. So based on that this work content is identified. So when we talk of the basic work or added work content and ineffective time, so when there is a work content kind of thing, like whether it is basic work or added work, something is being done with the job. But when we talk of the ineffective time, means the job is idle and nothing is being done either by the man or machine. So that is included in the ineffective time. So the total time to complete a job involves the basic work plus added work plus ineffective time. Basic work is basically the the work which is to be done in any case to complete the job under the ideal conditions. So basic work is basically the minimum irreducible work or the time that is needed to complete the job under ideal conditions. So means once the work is started, it is uninterrupted and it is done under the best possible conditions to complete the job. So it would be the best if there is no added work and there is no idle time. So the total time required to the job will be comprising only the basic work, which is minimum irreducible time needed to complete the job under ideal conditions. On the other hand, but this may not be the in actual working environment, this may not be the case, because the machine is not working at as per the expected performance, the worker is not well trained, the design of the component is not perfect, so you are not able to use the best possible manufacturing approaches. So due to the various issues related with the product which is being manufactured or the processes which are being used for manufacturing, it would be taking little longer. So the basic work content, as I have said, that will be basic work content, or that basic work content will be there under the conditions when everything is perfect with regard to the design, specification, manufacturing, and whatever is associated with the process of the production itself. Okay, so but in practical situations it hardly happens, so the basic work will always be added with some extra work. Means due to variety of regions you need to do little more work, whether machine is not working or operator is not well trained, or machine is working at the lower speed, the choice of the tool is not perfect, choice of the parameters is not perfect, design of the product is not perfect. So some excess work or added work is to be done. Excess work, or this is also known as added work, is done. And this added work is required to be done due to the two reasons. When we have the poor design of the product which is being manufactured, or the poor manufacturing system that is in place. So if when the design is not perfect, it issues a lot of it leads to the lot of added work, and which may be in form of, like, poor design leads to the extra work need to be done for longer time to complete the job, so which in turn will be reducing the productivity. So one is like bad design. So when the design is bad, say it doesn't allow the use of most economic manufacturing process, like say high volume production processes, like rolling, extrusion, and the machine forging, extra, those are not possible due to the bad design, and that is why it would be taking little longer to make the use of some other processes rather than permitting the use of the most efficient and economic manufacturing processes. So they will be of the high production volume processes. Another one related with the design is lack of standardization. Means we are manufacturing each and everything which is coming across, whether it is the specific design or the common design. So due to the lack of standardization, the volumes are low. Volume of the units to be manufactured is limited, and that is why it doesn't allow the use of high volume production processes. Okay, next is related with the poor design is incorrect quality standard. So we can say poor quality standard. This may be in variety of forms. Something which is not needed but unnecessary we are working, like for the application it is not required to use very low RA value, surface roughness value, but unnecessary it has been fixed, so we have to keep on working, not just with one process, but like say first grinding, then super finishing processes need to be used. So like say RA, surface roughness, is one thing, and then another one is the kind of tolerance. How close tolerance is to be maintained, that is not set appropriately. Either it is too high or too low. So the too high tolerance may lead to the lot of rejections, and too low tolerance may lead to the unnecessary extra work is to be done for which is not needed to produce for a given application. Okay, so this is about the inappropriate selection of quality standards. So setting the right ones which will be really as per the need or for a given requirement, the surface roughness and tolerance related thing need to be fixed. Otherwise we have to do extra work to realize very high surface finish or to maintain the very close tolerance. Then fourth point related with this is that the design is poor in such a way that it requires unnecessary either removal of material. Design is such that it requires unnecessary extra removal of the material or extra processing of the material. So when it happens, you'll see the number of steps are more, or to get the desired size and shape you need to continue to work for longer time, and that in turn will be increasing the time required to complete the job. So all these are like unnecessary. These things will be requiring that more and more work is done to complete the job due to these variety of the factors like bad design or lack of standardization or poor quality standards, or poor design is leading to the extra processing in form of extra removal of material or use of the additional steps. Then there is the next point is about the poor added work can also come from the poor manufacturing methods or inefficient manufacturing system. So added work means we are working on the product for longer time, so we are giving unnecessary greater machine hours or man hours to get the same thing due to these very inefficient design or inefficient production methods. So poor manufacturing method, and this may lead to the added work in various forms, like needing extra time to complete the job, like due to the wrong choice of the machine, wrong machine selection, then poor like say wrong tool or process parameters are selected, leading to the frequent stoppage, breaking of the tool, poor surface roughness, poor dimensional control, So these will be delaying the things. Wrong tool, then there is unnecessary, you have to do the processing at many steps, or unnecessary movements are involved due to the bad layout, leading to the unnecessary movement. Then like say, due to the poor workmanship or poor working method is leading to the bad you can say high rejections, or poor working in, so poor working method is leading to the high rejections due to the poor working method or approach. Then poor working conditions, like in real industrial environment, the temperature is too high, there is a high noise, vibrations, so all these will be causing a lot of fatigue to the operators and workers who are there. So they will be feeling fatigue very high, and so their the effectiveness and efficiency will be coming down, and because of that it will be taking little longer to complete the job. So as far as the work is concerned, you have seen the basic work and then added work. Added work is coming from the two aspects. One was design deficiency, and another is the manufacturing. So in these cases, at least we were doing something, although we were doing inefficiently in case of the added work. The third aspect, you see, in the first two cases we are doing something, but there will be a situation where nothing is being done while the job, it is expected that the job will be done and the production will be realized. So there will be an additional situation where nothing is being done, and this is a like idle situation where neither worker is working nor machine is working, and due to the due to various reasons. So this is being seen in form of ineffective time. Ineffective time is contributed by the two major factors. Ineffective time is caused by the poor management, and when the worker is not motivated, or poor attitude of the worker. So you know, most of the ineffective time actually it comes out like in 80% of the cases in general, the ineffective time is contributed due to the inefficiency of the management itself, and maybe workers also contribute towards the ineffective time, say by the 20% for the total ineffective time. This is the general like Pareto kind of thing which is generally experienced. So what are the factors associated with this ineffective time being caused by the management? And these are there are too many factors associated with the poor ineffective time being caused by the poor management. Poor management, this may be in form of like management decides to supply each and everything against the orders that are being received, which means there will be excessive high variety, excess variety, because we are trying to serve each and everyone. So excessive product variety leads to the lot of idle time due to the changeovers. and this idle time is basically the ineffective time, and that is needed due to the changeovers required, and that changeovers are required because of the short runs, because we are not producing the specialized goods which are extremely high in volume, means standard goods which are used or which are needed in high volumes, but variety of the goods are produced. So we need to produce the things in a smaller quantity. For that we need shorter runs or shorter batches, and that is why the changeovers are very frequent, and that in turn will be leading to the higher idle time. So this is one aspect, management, in which way management takes the call about this, whether it goes for high volume production of a few items or low volume production of large variety. That in turn will lead to the idle time. So next is obviously that is related to the earlier point, lack of standardization. If the standard products are manufactured, then our volumes will be high, and then our the runs will be longer, batch size will be longer, so that in turn will be reducing the idle time. Then there is mid-stream design changes. Like say, due to the inefficiency, the design changes are needed in between during the manufacturing itself, so that will be leading to the stoppage, and then reworking, or many rejections, or just throwing away the things in form of waste. So whatever time, energy, or the resources in form of man hour, machine hour has been used, all that will be wasted. Then the work is not being done due to the non-availability of the material. So lack of material at the shop floor. Material means all tools, consumables, whatever is needed for a smoother production. Then there is a bad planning on the part of the management, and bad planning is leading to the idle machines and workers. Like few are overloaded and others are underloaded, and they don't have the job to be done. Then bad plant condition. Bad plant condition means the machine condition is poor, and you cannot use them at the rated speed or the required speed or the required conditions. So you are forced, means the plant is forced to work at the lower rates, lower speed, less severe conditions of operations, or alternatively it is leading to the frequent breakdowns. So whenever there is a breakdown, obviously nothing will be done. So the plant breakdown conditions, reduced rate of the working conditions, are the result of the poor plant condition. Then whenever it happens, then like say the accidents and the bad working condition. So all these will be leading to the unavailability or ineffectiveness of the resources. Like say, actually during all these factors will be leading to the situation where nothing is being done by the man or the machine. They are idle, and that will be leading to the ineffective time. Okay, and in any case that has to be added with the total time required to complete a job. Okay, then there is another factor, that is about the ineffective time being caused by the workers. Also contribute little bit, like if they are not motivated, or the policies of the management are such that there is a lot of hostility against the management, then certainly people don't work wholeheartedly for this. So obviously the reasonably good level of the motivation is important amongst the workers. So there are certain factors which are within the control of the management, and these factors lead to the ineffective time. So one is like absence of the worker, or he is coming late, he's absent, or he's coming late, or even if he is there, his idleness, he doesn't come, he comes and then he doesn't work for certain time. So obviously when the worker is not working, then how the things will happen, and that will simply be added to the ineffective time. Then even if he is working, but working with the carelessness, and because of this carelessness or poor workmanship is leading to the lot of scrap or rework, because it is not up to the required quality, so it will be leading either to the rejections or rework. So that is again the kind of ineffective thing. And then third is like a carelessness and less motivated, or in absence of the motivation, people do the things very casually, and that leads to the accident. So he will remain whenever it is there. So obviously things will be stopped for a while, and then worker will remain absent from the duties for certain time. So many times the job is held up due to the absence of the worker. So these are all the things related with the total time to complete the job. We see a block like this. Okay, so here in a block, if we see the first, which is the most important thing and which is required minimum, any case the job can be completed only when the minimum basic work is done under the ideal conditions. So this is needed, this is the minimum irreducible time, or the minimum work that must be done to complete the job. Thereafter, since we don't have the ideal conditions always, so there is always some extra work needed due to the design deficiency. So this and then some extra work is also needed due to the manufacturing issues. So this is all contributing to the added work. Okay, thereafter if we see the contribution coming in form of ineffective time due to the poor management, and that is leading to the lot of idleness in the system. So ineffective time due to the management, and then the ineffective time being caused by the workers. So this is the kind of the block that we get in. So here this will be leading to the ineffective time. Okay, so now you see as far as so the time, say just for an example, the basic work is say just 5 minutes, added work is 3 minutes, and 4 minutes is the ineffective time. So the total time required to complete the job here is say 12 minutes. So what we would like to attack in first. So here if you see, the added work is something happening due to the deficient design or deficient manufacturing, means the way by which things we were doing is not perfect. Basic work is the kind of work or the time that is needed to do a job under the ideal conditions. Okay, and when those are not ideal, they are not perfect due to the deficiency, so this is imperfect. Extra work need to be done due to the imperfect situation. So our job is to make it perfect, and for this we need to work. We need to apply whatever methods, techniques, tools which are available, so that the design can be improved or manufacturing related things can be improved, so that the added work is reduced. But at least during this added work something is being done. However, the system is not that efficient, that is why it is taking little longer time. But certainly ineffective time is not acceptable in any case in any organization, and that is why, because this is a period during which nothing is being done. So if you see, ineffective time is just a wastage of all resources, and every industry will be investing certain amount every hour for maintaining the system, to have the security, lighting, insurance, building, rent, interest, taxes, etc. Each and everything is paid for each hour or each day or for each month. So if in a month we are able to produce 500, then that amount will remain same, or if you are producing the 10,000 units, that amount will remain same. So idea is to get the more output in a unit time, is to cut down this time, ineffective time. So for cutting down the ineffective time, first it is important that it is identified, it is there. So identification of existence of the ineffective time is the first step, and then its quantification, how much it is, 4 minutes or 10 minutes or 2 minutes, so that has to be identified. So first thing is its existence is to be acknowledged, and then it is to be quantified in terms of the time. Okay, so here our work measurement technique works as far as the work system design or the work study is concerned. Work measurement techniques help to identify the magnitude of the ineffective time which is therein. Okay, and if the system is not perfect as far as the design and manufacturing is concerned, due to the variety of regions, so we have to apply the method study. Let us study the method and see what are the deficiencies, so that those deficiencies after the study of the existing practices are identified. So you study the existing job and then identify what are the deficiencies, so that steps can be taken to rectify those deficiencies. Okay, that falls under the scope of the method study. Okay, so that's this is what is there in. So what is attacked, because basic work cannot be reduced further, because this is a minimum time that will be needed to complete the job under the prevailing conditions. After 2 years, if you have much better quality of the technology, much better machines, then certainly the basic work can be reduced subsequently, but under a given set of the conditions, there will be certain minimum amount of the work that has to be done to complete the job. So that is irreducible time under the ideal conditions. So using the method study, we try to work on the added work, so that the added work content can be reduced, or the time required to do the added work that can be reduced, and elimination efforts, all efforts are made to eliminate the ineffective time. Okay, so so this is about all added work. All the time, total time required to complete the job is composed of the different constituents, and what is attacked, what is eliminated, through the approaches of the work study method. So let me talk a little bit. So actually, work study is the bigger umbrella under which we have both method study and the work measurement. And in the work study, as it reflects from its name itself, like let us study the work so that all efforts can be made to cut down the resources required to complete the job. That is the main thing. So basically it involves a systematic study of the work so that we can identify what is being done and then can come up with what will be the best way to do the same thing to complete the job, so that our total time to complete a job can be reduced. So study, there are various steps about that, I will talk later. So like study of the work involves like define what is to be studied. Okay, then after defining the job which is to be studied, it is the like record. Let us, using the different tools and techniques available, the different steps are recorded for the analysis purpose. So there are different tools and techniques to record the things, and after this recording it is examined critically. So whatever the different steps related with the job are there, those have been recorded, are analyzed systematically using the critical examination, and based on this examination we try to develop a new method. Okay, once the new method has been developed, we will quantify like what will be the time required to do the job using the newly developed method. So it is a measure. Okay, so the define the job, or define or the select the job to be studied. There are different parameters which are kept in mind while selecting the job for a study. So the select, the record, examine, develop, and measure means the quantify the time it will take to complete the job, and then we have like clearly define the steps of the new job, how the new process, steps of new process or the method which has been developed, and then implement. And then people tend to go back using the previous method. So follow up is also important. So it starts like select, record, examine, develop the new method, measure, quantify the time it will take, then define the new method, including the different steps needed to complete the job using the new method, and then implement in the shop floor, and keep on checking if you are getting the required results or not. So that's the follow up also needed, or people have started using some other newer steps. Okay, so this is how we can say, if we understand the different constituents that will become included in a total work to be done to complete a job. So we can identify really where what is the scope to cut down the time or to cut down the activities need to be done to complete the job. So that's all for the day, I think.